want to sit down and draw new modalities to ensure the safety of our students, the safety of our officials.
So actually, that's the position of the school authorities. That we'll be hearing more from them. Also coming up on Eyewitness News, power fluctuations surge in parts of Accra over what officials say is as a result of maintenance works. But residents are complaining. And later on Eyewitness News, Deputy Cocoa Board CEO welcomes complaints made to the Office of Special Prosecutor to investigate him or his company over alleged conflict of interest. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
government reduces budget gap to 1% in 2025 recovery year.
That's in 15 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including Fafa would give us a list of stations that would bring you this broadcast if you're going outside Accra.
While in the Western region, you can listen to us on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrade. In the Bono region, we are Green at 95.9 FM in Sunyani, and in the Ashanti region, you can tune in to Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Eastern region, we are Right 90.1 FM in Somenya, and in the Volta region, Holy 98.5 FM in Aplao. In the Northern region, we are Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu, Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo, and Bolga 102.7 FM in Bolgatanga. Finally, in the Upper West region, we are Bugli Radio 88.6 FM and Pupeli 92.7 FM, both in Wa.
And if you're going outside Ghana, you can listen to Eyewitness News if you go to our YouTube channel or go to our website. That's citinewsroom.com. You can listen using our app, and you can also go to Facebook and find CTFM there and listen to our live discussion. If you want to join the conversation, send your messages on WhatsApp 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. You can mention me at Umaru Sanda, that's on X, or at Citi973, and the world will hear what you think. Let's start off from the central region, and we are hearing of disturbing stories there about a clash between two schools, namely the Obrachre Senior High Technical School and the Swedru School of Business, Swesbus. I should think that's the proper, the short form of the pronunciation. Let me get details. Dr. Juliette Dufie Otami is Central Regional Director of Education. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, the clash happened between students of the two schools I've mentioned, Obrachre Senior High School and Swedru School of Business, correct?
Yes, please.
When did this happen? Where did it happen? And what happened eventually when the clash took place? Hello? Doc, can you hear me? I think I've lost the Dr. Julius there. I'll try and raise him again. We'll try and re-establish connection with her.
Yeah, finished everything.
Okay. Okay, madam, can you hear me? Hello, Doc, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think I lost you temporarily, so I'll ask the question again, and so that you kindly answer. So I wanted to know when this happened, where it happened, and what the result was.
Okay. It happened after the games. They finished with every game. They have given out the awards. They have closed. And then, at the end of the day, when they were outside the event ground, the incident happened. We are yet to investigate what triggered that violent attack between the two schools. But there were casualties. Some people were injured, so we sent them to the hospital. They have been medically treated and discharged. Today we met with the DG, we met with the students and their parents, and everybody is in good health. Nobody died. Nobody passed on. So there were not any fatalities whatsoever, as had been reported in various social media platforms. All students are well, they are doing well. We let them, and then we are now with the investigation. So we started with the investigation, and very soon the report will come out. So that is where we have reached.
What was the nature of the clash, and who are the people who took part? Was it all students or just a few students?
Well, we are yet to ascertain, but from the videos we could see it's just a few students. That is the law into their own hands to attack another school. The police, as I indicated earlier, had made some arrests. We are still investigating, and I know that it might not be only the 3 students, others may be passed. So we are still with our investigation.
Okay, so what were the kinds of injuries that the students sustained?
Some, when we met them, actually, as we saw from the video, they were beaten up. And I'm not a medical person, so I cannot explain or diagnose what really went wrong. But all we saw was that they had some injuries and they have been treated and they are doing well.
The people who were arrested, how many from which school?
So far, we know they are 3 that they are still investigating. The police are on the ground, so we are believing that there may be others who may be part. So they will get to the bottom of everything.
Of the 3 that were arrested, any of them from, are they all from the same school?
No. So far, yes. The 3 are from different schools, but they are students. Mm-hmm.
So, how many are from Obrache and how many are from Swedro? Do you know?
Obrache, 2 and 1 from Swedro so far. So we are yet to get more information. So today the police were at the various campuses doing further investigation.
Okay. The injured, nobody's on admission, right? All have been discharged, you said?
No, as we speak now, they were discharged on Saturday.
So this event happened when?
It happened on Friday evening.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No.
So Saturday evening, all of them had been discharged. And so we met them today, and they were okay. They came over with their parents, and they are okay. Yeah.
Now, the announcement is that you have suspended intercore in the region. If the program was done, the ceremony is over, awards have been given, what is there to suspend again if the program is over?
There are other zones that are yet to organize theirs. And we couldn't preempt what will happen there. So we said we have suspended everything.
Until when?
So further notice. We want to put some things in place, some safety protocols.
Did you have police presence at the event ground?
Sure, we did.
And yet...
We did. That's why I'm saying that it was after the program, when they had left the grounds. So during the sporting activities, everything went on well. So it was when they were going back to their schools, that was where the attack started.
Are they neighbors, these schools?
Hello?
Are they close to each other, these 2 schools?
Are there, please?
Are the 2 schools near to each other? Are they neighbors?
No. They are even in different districts.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
During the competition, did anything happen where one group thought they were robbed of some points or something to that?
No, there was nothing of the sort. Nobody protested. There was nothing of the sort. Nobody protested.
Nobody felt cheated.
Oh, no.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You are welcome.
That's Dr. Juliet Dufie Otami. She's Central Regional Director of Education. Let's speak to her boss, Deputy Minister for Education and Member of Parliament for Bulsa South, Dr. Clement Apak. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
This issue is becoming one too many.
I've given them instructions.
This issue is becoming one too many. 2 weeks or so ago, we reported on a similar incident in the Eastern region, inter-schools competition and a clash between students. And now we are hearing of this one from the Central region. As the people in charge of policy, what's the position on this matter?
Yeah, Sandra, let me say a good evening to you and a good evening to our listeners, particularly my constituents in Bulsa South and all of Buluk. And to indicate that His Excellency the President and the Minister for Education and all who truly believe in the power of education to transform are worried about these acts of violence that we are witnessing in some of our schools. Safe to say that these occurrences didn't start today, but be as it may, we have been given the mandate to superintend over the education of this country, and the minister is very determined through the Ghana Education Service to ensure that acts of indiscipline, including hooliganism, acts of violence, acts of assault, and misconduct, are given the needed attention they deserve and culprits identified and punished appropriately. So yes, it is the case that we heard about what transpired in the Eastern region, I think barely 2 weeks ago, with regards to a rape case, the case of a student stabbing. Then we heard of what also happened in the West African secondary school here in Accra, with students mobilizing to attack teachers. And now the situation in the Central region involving 2 groups of students from 2 schools who went at each other during what is expected to have been a healthy sporting activity, where we expected the students to compete and show their capacity during the field and track events. But it turned out to be an all-out brawl, where students were chasing each other with all kinds of offensive weapons, pelting each other, and indeed some students who were cornered and were severely assaulted. This is unacceptable, and the Ghana Education Service has concluded a meeting with the Regional Director of Education from the Central Region, the head masters of the 2 schools involved, as well as the district directors. So some initial directives have been given as we await the full report, and as we expect the law enforcement agencies, particularly the Ghana Police Service, to also do the needful. So we are disappointed, we are unhappy, but we are determined to take the needed actions to ensure that there is no copycat syndrome with regard to these occurrences that I've just narrated.
All right, so do we need to do something specifically in relation to intercourse? So the director said to us that the clash happened after, but is there a way we can deal with this so that we consider schools that are rivals in an area and not put them together in the same zone? Is that possible?
Well, I don't think that is the solution, but even as we await the results, what we ought to look at is how in our day we had inter-schools and colleges, we competed in field and track, we had quiz competitions, we had drama competitions, we had debating competitions, and some of us were beneficiaries of all of these extracurricular activities. And I don't remember any situation where so-called rival schools had to attack each other. Something is not right. And I think we need to go back into our own history, the history of secondary education, to identify where and how the current situation came to be attractive to the extent that students are willing to engage in these acts with such brevity without fear of any sanctions. And I think one of the immediate things that we are doing in the ministry is to give the GES, school heads, district directors, regional directors our full support, and indeed law enforcement our full support in holding perpetrators accountable. And if we have to put in place measures as has been announced by the regional director of education from the central region, putting a ban or suspending the ongoing interzonal sports competitions, we are prepared to support that because we cannot condone these acts. They do not augur well for the academic environment, and we cannot sit by and allow those that we expect to take over this nation as leaders to engage in these kinds of despicable conduct. It is clearly not acceptable, and we will do whatever it takes to bring some sanity to the educational space as far as secondary education is concerned. But let me be quick to add that it is precisely for some of these reasons that we decided as a government, and through the instrumentality of His Excellency the President, to reinstate the PTAs so that they can also have a role to play, because parents also have a role to play in the conduct or lack thereof of the awards when they are in school. And let the students be aware that if you are found culpable, if you participate in these kinds of acts of indiscipline, you don't only stand the chance of going to jail, but it could also spell the end of your formal education, because you could be expelled. And we will do that if it becomes necessary.
Do we need to again take any action against chaperones of these students, or the school authorities themselves? Are they to blame in any way based on your understanding of how these things work, or this will just be as a result of hooliganism by students?
Well, as I said earlier, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service was in my office to brief me after the meeting with the regional director and the district directors and other stakeholders, even including the parents of some of the students who were victims in as far as this open brawl was concerned. And indeed, he indicated to me that the investigation is not only going to be confined to the students and what happened as was captured in the videos that have now gone viral, but there are certain protocols that are expected of the different schools and those who are mandated to supervise these students when they go out on these sorts of competitions. So we are waiting to see the report. And if it becomes clear, if there is any basis, if there is evidence to show that a PE teacher, a PE master, or a sports master failed to act according to what the regulations outlined, then they would also be held accountable for negligence of duty.
Thank you for speaking to us. And by the way, how is your boss doing since the accident?
Well, I can assure you and the good people of Ghana that the Honorable Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, is in high spirits. He is recovering very fast. Indeed, I had the opportunity to be part of a closed-door private meeting with him earlier today. We discussed a number of issues, even including the matter at hand. So it's just a matter of time before he resumes his official duties. I think he's waiting for the all clear from the doctors who have done well in attending to him and his other colleagues. So he's in very high spirits and cannot wait to resume his usual duties as Ghana's Minister for Education.
Very well, thank you. But I said that thank you, and that was my last question. But I just got some information from our Eastern Region correspondent I want to put to you for your comment before you go. So
yes, please proceed.
I referenced what happened in the Eastern Region 2 weeks or so ago. So he's saying that in the Eastern Region, the schools that were involved have been banned for 2 years, and there's a national athletic competition happening at Koforidua Secondary Technical. Now, he wants to know what happens to the talents that have been banned for 2 years from these schools. Then the next proposal is, would it be advisable to ban spectators and supporters at these events so that the schools would participate without necessarily they coming over? And I'm referring still to the Eastern Region 1, so that they can take part without their perhaps rowdy supporters coming in there and possibly clashing again.
Well, we are looking at these occurrences on a case-by-case basis. And I am glad that a reference has been made to the action taken within the context of the Eastern region, where, of course, as you know, a student was stabbed and a female student was also the victim of rape, amongst others. And the perpetrators are currently standing trial. Yes, it is the case that the two schools have been banned, and we support that ban. The reason why we support that is because of what we call collective responsibility. So if the institution and the students are not minded to conduct themselves properly, then they all deserve to be sanctioned and to feel the pinch of the misconduct of some of their own. And I think that is action that we support. With regards to banning spectators and supporters, I have not given that much thought, but we will continue to evaluate and assess. If it becomes necessary for that course of action to be taken, I believe we will do that. As I said earlier, whatever we need to do as a ministry, through law enforcement and through the Ghana Education Service, to ensure that these ugly developments do not reoccur, we are prepared to do so lawfully.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You are welcome, Sander.
That's Dr. Clement Apak. He's Deputy Minister of Education. He's also the Member of Parliament for Bulsa South in the Upper East Region. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So some breaking news based on some recent developments from the Kotoka International Airport. The Ministry for the Sector has issued a statement, and let me just read that for you. It says a renaming of Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. The ministry hereby informs the general public that the government of Ghana has officially reverted the name of Kotoka International Airport to its original name, Accra International Airport. The facility was originally known as Accra International Airport before its redesignation. The government has considered it appropriate to restore the airport to its former and internationally recognized name. This change will not affect airport operations, safety standards, or international travel arrangements. Notably, within the records of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, the airport code has remained ACC. Implementation of the renaming will involve the systematic update of official documentation, statutory instruments where necessary, airport signage, digital platforms, aviation publications, and related communication materials. The general public, stakeholders, and international partners are kindly requested to support and cooperate with the relevant authorities to ensure a smooth and seamless transition. The ministry appreciates the continued cooperation of all stakeholders. This is issued by the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Transport. So, if you're going to the airport tonight, it is Accra International Airport, not Kotoka International Airport. That's what the government wishes to let you know. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Kuma has always dreamt of commanding his own military forces.
Attention! Eyes right, stand at ease.
Because that dream is still a vision in progress, He spends his time commanding his money with the EcoBank mobile app.
Operation Supplier Payment. Dispatch 1,000 units of currency from Accra to Benin. Move! Move!
Sometimes he wants a little extra control so that he can buy only what he needs.
Command Center mobile app. Activate virtual card protocol and initiate payments for sneakers and t-shirts. Abort mission for leather coat payment.
Even when the general is fast asleep, his standing order marches out to sort his bills. With the EcoBank mobile app, you can command your money to make safe transactions in Ghana and across 33 African countries. Download the EcoBank mobile app on the Play or App Store today.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Yeah. So where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.ga or your My MTN app to sign up today. Everywhere you go.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is still Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's do some other stories now. The minority in Parliament is calling for a criminal investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor into Atlas Commodities Limited, a company linked to Cocoa Board's Deputy Chief Executive. The caucus alleges the firm has been operating illegally in produce buying company warehouses in parts of the Volta Central and Eastern regions. Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, Vincent Eko Asifwa, says a forensic audit must be taken of warehouse and cocoa movement records.
How did Atlas Commodities find itself operating in an arena that it did not have a license to operate? This development elevates the seriousness of the matter. It can be said on authority that Atlas Commodities Limited has operated within warehouses registered under PBC. As a minority, we demand the following. We demand a full criminal investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We demand a constitutional conflict of interest determination by STRAJ. We also demand a forensic audit of warehouse registrations and cocoa movement records. The minority is also demanding for a full disclosure from Cocoa Board, national security, and relevant authorities. We are also demanding that action in accordance with the law if wrongdoing is established. If there is no wrongdoing, investigation will clear the air. But if wrongdoing is confirmed, accountability must follow. Cocoa is too important to Ghana's rural economy to allow regulatory compromise. The farmers deserve protection. The nation deserves transparency. The constitution demands compliance.
While he further demanded that Atlas Commodities urgently compensate the produce buying company to enable it settle salary arrears owed to workers, some of whom he says have gone unpaid for over a year.
There are also troubling reports that some PBC workers reportedly have not been paid for extended periods, at least for a period of 1 year. The reason why PBC workers are not paid is that when government gets the money, it does not give the money to PBC to go and buy cocoa, so that government will be able to get some margins off it. If you get margins, that is when you'll be able to get money to be able to pay your workers. Now PBC is deprived with resources that will allow them to be able to operate, and those monies are given to LBCs. A chunk of it belong to Dr. Atoforsen or Mr. Atoforsen, who is a deputy chief executive of Cocoa Board. Atoboatin. The minority is also demanding a compensation that will have to be paid by Atlas Commodities Limited to the PBCs, because they have used the warehouses of PBCs, warehouses belonging to PBC, to operate and make margins or make profit, denying or depriving the state from those resources.
You are the Member of Parliament for Ota for Vincent Eko Asifua. Now, still on this matter, the Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Finance and Administration at the Ghana Cocoa Board, Ato Boateng, has welcomed calls for investigations over allegations of conflict of interest linked to Atlas Commodities Limited. According to information released in his defense, Mr. Boateng resigned as a director of Atlas Commodities Limited on January 20, 2025, prior to assuming his current role at Cocoa Board. He also transferred his shares in the company to Edinam Yao Kofi and George Ofori, who now serve as trustees of a trust set up for that purpose. The statement further noted that Mr. Boateng duly declared his previous interest in Atlas Commodities in his official declaration of assets and liabilities as required of public officers, lodging the documentation with the Auditor General. Clarifying the operational structure within Cocoa Board, the statement explained that the board does not hold shares in PBC and therefore does not influence its management decisions.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. If you live in Accra, I'm sure you would have been noticing fluctuation in your power supply for the past few days. The Ministry of Energy has a spokesperson, and that spokesperson is joining me on the line. He's Richmond Roxon. Mr. Roxon, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sander, and let me say good evening to your cherished listeners.
Good evening to you. I deliberately didn't use the word doomso because I didn't want to scare you, but there have been power outages. Why?
First, let me put on record that as a government, we've not been shedding load. Over the past 10 to 11 months, our generation capacity has been enhanced. What we are doing as a government is that even though we took over a deficit of 700 megawatts in December 2024, that has been overturned. We've managed to ensure that our generation capacity is intact. We recognize that there are a number of issues over the last few days, and those issues are area specific. And so, as a ministry, we've taken notice that if you look at an area like Achimota, they've had some issues. Dodowa has had some issues. You look at part of Akwitiman as well, and you also look at Tesano in the last couple of days. The good news is that, and let me add Adenta to it. The good news is that these challenges have largely been resolved in some of these areas. And so we expect that the residents there will have stable power supply. If you look at Achimota substation, we had an issue with the transformer. Power has been restored in the catchment area as we speak. If you look at Adenta, we estimate that within the period by Friday, we should be able to install the new transformer by Friday. What it is that there's a transformer overload in that area because you've had more residents, more people coming there. It means that demand has gone up, and so you need to change the transformer. And that will be done Friday, and that issue also be resolved. For Dodua, which affected part of Amrahia, part of Oyarifa, we had an underground issue where a cable blasted, so the team had to trace where the fault was. It's been detected. That was fixed last night. And so largely we are dealing with these outages. And in the coming days, I'm sure that these companies will minimize or will become a thing of the past.
Do you have a timeline you're working? Because, again, I'm just listening to the districts you've mentioned. I was with my mom in the village yesterday, Astrari Junction, that's under Dodoa. There was an outage throughout the day, starting from dawn. You have not mentioned that.
Let me know. I mentioned that. Let me not catch you. What I mentioned was that Dodoa had an underground cable issue.
Okay, so that's what affected OEB and Amraha and those places.
That happened Saturday night.
Okay.
And so what happened was that they had to move part of the load in that area to the Adenta substation. That problem has been fixed. Indeed, last night, if you speak to your mom again, I'm sure she'll be able to confirm that from last night around 7-8 p.m. till now, her power would have been stable. So that problem has been completely dealt with. So to answer your question on the timelines,
yes,
all these issues are being handled immediately. And that is why we've completed Dodo over the weekend. Achimota was completed today. Tesano was completed yesterday, Sunday. And Adenta will be completed on Friday.
Very well. We'll look forward to that. And thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. And so let me use your platform to assure the good people of Ghana that there's nothing like load shedding. We'll continue to address all the challenges that we have with the outages. And so you have the assurances of the government, especially the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, that the people of Ghana will continue to have stable power supply as it's been in the last couple of months.
This part of the announcement will be sending you a bill for. Thank you for speaking to us.
That's an assurance.
Very well, appreciated. That's Richmond Roxon, his spokesperson for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me bring some of the messages that you've been sending through. Tia Malik in the Northeast region says, free education students. If the perpetrators of this barbaric act are above 18 years, just give them some 10 years of their miserable life to work hard for the government. So I'm seriously calling these hooligans. Wow. That's heavy-handed, isn't it? Abi National in WA says, we need to relook at the discipline or the indiscipline in our schools by telling our human rights lawyers to give way for discipline. Aziz Donla in WA says, GES and the Ministry of Education must reintroduce punishment into our schools because we were caned in the early 2000s and we didn't die. And discipline and disrespect isn't part of our curriculum system. GES, over to you. This one says, the recent clash between the students of the two senior high schools during the inter-school is unacceptable. Such violence undermines the spirit of competition and camaraderie. The culprits must face stiffer punishments to deter future incidents, ensuring respect and safety prevails in our educational institutions. Let's promote sportsmanship over conflict. That's Togbe Ke Kosi, the 8th from Abutiateti in the Volta region. The students are simply following the footsteps of their parents. Have we forgotten how some MPs broke tables and damaged microphones some time ago? We, the people from Oyarifa, sent that message. Stephen from Malam says it's very sad these days with our children in the schools. It's just because this message is not a bit. Let me see. It's okay. I can't. They said their students are holding energy drinks, and they are not normal energy drinks. Then they must have laced them with some drugs. That's what Stephen is saying. Okay. I went to Suhum Sektek. Our headmaster in 2003, Joseph Adolabi, did not make us spectators go for intercore because he knew what we would do to other schools. He was disliked, but looking back, I think he saved us. So heads can adopt same. That's Jay from Tema. Well, Jay, I also went to see my assistant headmaster, Paul Kojo Jinoko, over the weekend around Afienya. He was a disciplinarian par excellence. And he was feared by students and even teachers too. He kept us on our toes, and well, he shaped us, and we've become what we've become. This message says, I totally agree with Honorable Apak. In our days, students compete in order to get a call up into the national athletic team. But students of today sit down and conceive the idea of which schools to attack. Now, students compete about which school is more violent and not which school is better academically. Last year, students of ATTC attacked Accra High School, and the scenes were like a war film. Capital punishment should be introduced back to our school, Andy in Dansoman Atomic Bus Stop. Mabugri Samadu from Zebila says these students must be identified and given the appropriate sanctions. The growing tide of students in discipline, violence, hooliganism in our schools is alarming. Stripping teachers of firm disciplinary authority, particularly following the ban on corporal punishment, which I believe the earlier message wanted to say not capital punishment, corporal punishment in schools under Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, has weakened order and eroded respect for authority. It is time to reconsider firm disciplinary measures and fully empower teachers to restore discipline and sanctity to our education system. Daniel Akpalio sending that from Sandema, which is, interestingly, the constituency of the Deputy Minister for Education. This one says, who should be blamed for this hooliganism in our secondary schools? It comes with that name. If politicians can beat their opponents in the full glare of the police without any intervention, what do you expect our children to learn? You can't sow oranges and harvest mangoes. That's done so from Medina. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We'll return with more stories. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, Andrea, challenge these days, new level crown. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. Hey. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. Oh, okay. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible. Wow. Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider.
Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I need your side, Fidelity.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofusui-Jari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 679326 or 0242 585419. Media partners: Daily Graphic, Media General, Radio Gold, Citi FM, and Channel 1 TV. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology.
Ramadan Kareem, a season of peace, blessings, and giving. Electroland Ghana Limited is bringing blessings into your home with special value deals on Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO. NASCO TVs from just $699, bottom fridge freezer from $1999, chest freezer from $1999, Samsung 6kg twin tab washing machine for 2,999 Ghana cedis, Samsung microwaves from 1,799 Ghana cedis, TCL 43 inches for 2,999 Ghana cedis, TCL water dispenser for 1,599 Ghana cedis, TCL front load inverter for 5,999 Ghana cedis, Media air cooler for 1,499 Ghana cedis, air fryer, juicer, stand mixer, and blender at all special Ramadan prices. Visit EGL showrooms and authorized dealers nationwide. Call us on 0503-159739 and on our website at www.electrolandgh.com. Electroland Ghana, bringing Ramadan value home.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. Send your reactions 0539 986 996 0549 986 996. Mention me at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. That is if you are on X, formerly known as Twitter, and the world will get to hear your views. I think I've taken these messages already. Let me go to Fafa now to bring us other stories we have here on Eyewitness News.
Well, the Finance Ministry has initiated formal processes to investigate the alleged diversion of 18 articulated trucks loaded with assorted goods in what is suspected to be a transit fraud scheme. The Deputy Minister assured the public that authorities are treating the matter with urgency and will impose sanctions on all culpable persons. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show earlier today, the Deputy Minister of Finance, Thomas Nyakwampim, noted that the Finance Minister, Dr. Ato Forsen, has already directed the leadership of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority to act on the matter.
The Finance Minister gave directives to the Commissioner General to take these actions, interdict officers who we suspect are complicit in this, and start full-scale investigation. We're actually shocked at the responses that we were getting from the people. So he directed the Commissioner General to immediately start disciplinary action against these affected officers. And so immediately queries were given to them. But the information I got from Commissioner General is that they have issued queries to them on Friday and they are to respond today, by close of day today. After that, the necessary action, including interdiction, will happen. In fact, this will happen. When we came back from Akanu, the president was waiting to hear from us. So we drove straight to the president to give him feedback on our trip to the border post. And the president is so upset. There is no way anybody involved in this is going to be treated with kid gloves.
Well, the Deputy Minister also added that some officers within the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority are colluding with importers to undervalue goods, and action would be taken against such persons. We'll do all to bring you that insight in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, security consultant Richard Kumado has lauded the government's decision to submit the maritime boundary dispute between Ghana and Togo for international arbitration. The government announced that Ghana will seek a resolution under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Speaking to City News, he said the move will help prevent future conflict and ensure a peaceful resolution.
You don't want to wait until you begin to go arm-to-arm fight with your neighbor. In order to avoid it, let's stop it today. One way of stopping it is to ask external persons to come and look inside for us. And objectively, they can tell us that this is where your boundary ends. And it sets the tone and it creates the platform to talk about it friendly and amicably without necessarily rocking feathers or rocking the boat. So that we will prevent it today before tomorrow we'll begin to react when something is triggered. Today, there might not be any specialized reason to wage a war with our neighbors. But when minerals begin to come in and political governance decisions begin to happen at the highest level and some other person feel you've come into their territory, that may trigger a military action. And it's better you resolve it today. So all we are doing is to resolve it. And that's the best way to go about it.
U.S. security consultant Richard Kumado. Now let's take you to the Western region, where the police command has arrested 3 persons and intercepted 2 truckloads of substances suspected to be Indian hemp at 2 separate locations, Asoko in the Shama district and in Nkrofo Junction in Sekondi Takrade. The head of public affairs for the Western Regional Police Command, Superintendent Olivia Irabna Adiku, told City News that the first truck was intercepted yesterday at about 5:30 p.m. at the Asoko barrier. The operation subsequently led officers to a second truck at Nkrofo Junction.
The Western Regional Command yesterday evening around 5 p.m. arrested 2 trucks suspected to be containing narcotic substances. The first truck was arrested at Asokwe Saman police barrier by the barrier men on duty. 3 people absconded. Police was able to arrest 1 of them. So the arrested one led police to the second vehicle, which was parked at Nkrofo Junction. So in all, we've been able to arrest 3 people. Each bag contained about 82 pieces of compressed alleged Indian hemp wrapped in yellow wrappers. According to them, they came from a place in Kofodia and they were heading towards Ivory Coast and they were intercepted here. So police have started investigations, and after investigation, if they are found culpable, they'll be sent to court to face the law.
That was the head of public affairs for the Western Regional Police Command, Superintendent Olivia Irabnadiku.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Up next is Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, which is brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house, oh.
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up. Join the Republic Verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa Kotufe. Let's settle for the details now. Ghana's fiscal deficit narrowed sharply to 1% of GDP in 2025, outperforming the government's 2.8% target. According to the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasia Latofosin, the improvement marks a shift from 2024, when the economy faced a primary deficit of 3% of GDP and an inflation of 23.8%. The fiscal consolidation was supported by broader macroeconomic gains. Provisional data show real GDP growth of 6.1% year-on-year in the first 3 quarters of 2025, driven mainly by services and agriculture. The Finance Minister says the 2025 performance reflects broad-based stabilization and positions public finances on a more sustainable path heading into 2026. Away from that, the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has stated that government's decision to ban the transit of cooking oil through Ghana's borders would help curb abuses within the transit trade system. This comes as the Finance Ministry initiated formal processes to investigate the alleged diversion of 18 articulated trucks loaded with assorted goods in what is suspected to be a transit fraud scheme. In an interview with Citi Business News, Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awingobid, said the directive would help ensure a level playing field for legitimate local importers.
I 100% support the minister's directive that anybody who wants to bring in vegetable oil must come to the seaport, and that is the way. Because in the port is a control, security control area. You can't just bring it and then take it out without going through the process and procedure that you pay the duty and the needed taxes and fees and charges before. And so, yes, even in Nigeria, there are some commodities that they direct that you cannot take it through borders, it must come through their port. Other countries, it happens. And so the finance minister, if you look at it, about 85 million Ghana cedis, this money could have just gone, uncovered, and nobody will see, the country will be denied. Didn't know how much 85 million Ghana cedis could help to the development of this country.
That was the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awingobid. Away from that, electricity consumers in the country may have overpaid an estimated 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in the fourth quarter of 2025 due to inflated exchange rate and inflation assumptions used in tariff calculations, according to a new policy review by the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. The report argues that current economic conditions justify a double-digit reduction in electricity tariffs, potentially about 11% in the first quarter of 2026. Here's more.
According to the report, the PURC used a projected exchange rate of 11 cedis 97 pesos per dollar for the fourth quarter of 2025, adjusted upward to 12 cedis 37 pesos to account for under recovery. However, the actual average exchange rate for the period was 10 cedis 87 pesos, creating what the group describes as a substantial over-recovery of 1 cedi 10 pesos per dollar when applied to quarterly electricity consumption of 6,459 gigawatts per hour, with 60% of generation costs assumed to be dollar denominated. The excess translated into roughly 1.5 billion cedis in consumer overpayment. Inflation projections also diverge sharply from reality. The PURC applied a 12% rate, while actual average inflation for the quarter stood at around 6.6%. Meanwhile, revenue data from the Electricity Company of Ghana suggests that tariff hikes have not significantly improved collections. ECG recorded 1.4 billion cedis in April 2025 before upward adjustment, but revenue fell to 1.3 billion in May after a 14.75% increase, and again hovered near 1.3 billion in August despite additional hikes. With the exchange rate currently around 10 cedis 99 pesos and projected first quarter 2026 inflation at 3.4%, the group argues that applying the formula accurately should result in an electricity tariff reduction of about 11%.
That business desk report was put together by Emmanuel Opon. Now, Goil PLC is encouraging Ghanaians to buy fuel from its over 400 retail locations nationwide in anticipation of the much-awaited Heritage Caravan. Channel 1 TV and Citi FM visited the oil marketing company, a major sponsor of this year's event. Speaking to the delegation, Chief Operating Officer of Goil PLC, Dr. Marcos Diodake, stressed that the company continues to provide high-quality fuel even while offering prices at the current price floor.
We recognize the role you play in terms of your community engagement. Some of us don't miss your eyewitness news. That you get the information right on the ground. The people are telling you how they feel about whatever that is going on. And now you've also introduced this Heritage Caravan for the past 10 years. And it brings to Ghanaians our culture and tourism opportunities across the nation, and that is very laudable, and we would like to commend you for that. As a company, we continue to associate with you because we are the national brand when it comes to fuel marketing in Ghana. I must say that we have over 400 retail outlets in Ghana. We are in every corner of the country. So wherever you go, there's a well that is there to serve you quality fuels, and not only fuels, you also enjoy good quality lubricants.
Dr. Marcos Diodake is Chief Operating Officer of Goil PLC. Now, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has moved to calm concerns raised by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, and the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors over the alleged diversion of funds from the LPG fund to the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. The two industry bodies had warned that the move, if confirmed, breaches the statutory mandate of the LPG fund and could undermine investor confidence in the downstream petroleum sector. Speaking to Citi News, the spokesperson for the ministry, Richmond Roxon, said the ministry has engaged stakeholders on the matter and will soon outline a roadmap detailing decisions taken.
We recognize the role you play in terms of your community engagement. Some of us don't miss your eyewitness news.
So the meeting happened on Friday. The Honorable Minister met, the stakeholders met, COMAC met, Seaboard, the regulator, which is MP, was there. A number of decisions were taken at the meeting. I can assure you that the matter is being handled and there's no cause for alarm. And so the meeting has happened. So far, all parties are happy with the explanation and the decisions that were made. And in the next couple of days, I'm sure that we'll be able to give you a comprehensive update. I mean, the concerns they raised, the minister heard them, the ministry discussed it, the regulator was also heard. And so the roadmap has been agreed between parties. And I'm sure that everybody left the meeting satisfied with what had been agreed. And so there's no cause for alarm.
Richmond Roxon is spokesperson for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Well, that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafa. Gotife. Up next is Point Blank.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house, oh.
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up. Join the Republic verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Imagine making or collecting all payments without leaving your chair. Sounds like magic, right? Nah, it's Stanbic Pay.
As the Chief Financial Director of SBA Holdings Limited, payments from clients flow like magic through Stanbic Pay.
From school fees to utilities, government and statutory payment to investment, insurance payment, Hajj payment, and more. Just log on to Stanbic Pay and you're set for life. No Stanbic account, no queues, no stress, no last-minute panic.
Cherish your time and live happier in safety and convenience.
Just visit stanbicbank.com.gh or call 030-340-9212 or 055-676-0683 to get started.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Omar Rusandama. Tonight on Point Blank, we are talking about employment and jobs and labor relations. The Minister for Employment and Labor Relations is the NDC Member of Parliament for Wa Central, the Honorable Dr. Abdurrashid Pelpuo. He had a conversation with our Parliamentary Affairs Correspondent, Ni Ayikwe Okain, and they touched on an array of issues, including the strikes and how the government is dealing with them. Let's listen to that interview.
Salary reforms that are expected to have taken place effective January
2025. That hasn't taken place yet. That's the basis for their plan to embark on an industrial action. As a ministry, what exactly are the issues and how do you intend to avert this planned action?
Well, thank you very much. CLOSAC approached us and had gone on strike before, and we had to have we had a conversation with them and decided that we were going to tackle the problem, head on, because we had just come in. They had signed this memorandum of understanding with government in 2022, and government had agreed to reform their salary and give them a new structure. So they had then decided to pursue it with us 3 years after they had the agreement with government. And we decided that we're going to study it thoroughly, understand it, and see how we can commit resources to it. And so we had been working on that. And so at one point, when they realized that government was so committed in doing what they wanted, they called off their strike. And that was great. And we salute them for that, because it will enable us to appreciate the change that the change that is coming on their salary scheme, match it with the realities of the economy, and see how we could satisfy them. But they have been pursuing it. Logically, they have been pursuing it, and we have been listening to them as well. Except that economic decisions are not taken at a spur of moment. It's normally a process. And in that process, you consider all the factors that come together to define the economy. And I've had some discussions with the Minister of Finance, and it is something that we take very seriously. Except that this strike has taken us by surprise, because as soon as I heard about the strike, I called the Labour Commission and asked them what was happening. Why did they go on strike? Did they bring any challenge, any issue that we are not solving? And they were also green about it. They didn't know about the strike and told me they didn't know about the strike, but they were going to find out. And indeed, they sent a delegation to find out at all the stages why they went on strike, what can be done and all that, and they brought a report to me. So I see that is something that we can arrest along the line. And I will urge them to go back to work, not to go on strike, but to believe that the promise we made that we are going to work and get them what they want will be worked on. We want to, will be done. So we don't have a situation where rather than working, people are staying at home to achieve an objective which can be achieved without their sitting at home. And so I'm urging them to not to go on the strike. It's not going to be more helpful than if they were to stay and still get the results they want. I believe in the leadership. They are committed.
Was there any agreement within that particular agreement by the previous administration for which you feel that is causing the delay in its implementation?
I don't know of anything within the president, the former administration, that would have made us to delay anything. The fact is that I just explained to you that anything that will have a trigger on the accounting system of this country, especially the financial arrangements, will have to be done with due caution, and that's what we are going through. And besides that, lots of other organizations have some demands. It's not just one organization you will satisfy. So you have to take all of them together and look at it in a holistic manner and solve it once and for all. So you don't have one person going on strike, getting the results, then the next moment another person is going on strike. That is not very good. In fact, we want to make strike actions a thing of the past, an outmoded concept. So you open up doors, you come, you discuss, you get what you want. You don't need to go on strike to get what you want. And that's what we want to urge, why I want to urge CLOSAC to reconsider their decision. It doesn't matter how long it takes, it will happen. But it won't take that long for you to be. It won't take that long for you to be that dissatisfied. So I'll urge them to come for a discussion. The discussion we are going to have will determine how long it's going to take for us to reach that conclusion.
When should they come for that discussion?
As soon as possible. In fact, I spoke to the closer executive secretary, and I'm arranging a meeting with some key labor leaders, not just them alone. Part of which is going to be discussed. After the original reason I'm calling the meeting, I'm going to discuss the CLOSAC issue as an exclusive issue, to see how we can get back on the table and find some solution to what they are looking for.
Minister, you are aware that teacher unions have also been on strike for a while now.
Yeah.
And they just decided to call it off because of the court injunction. What are you doing to ensure that they don't come back to that industrial action?
Everything is on talks. You see, when you don't listen to each other, then it comes to that point. But I want to assure them we want to listen to them, and we've already started talking about it. Even today, I went to see the Minister of Finance. These are things that we believe we can do without anybody thinking about strike. We will work towards achieving the best for each and every one of us. It is in the best interest of government and the people of Ghana that there shouldn't be any strike at all, that people should work without stopping, so we can achieve our plan objectives. Wherever there are strikes and people are not working, it hurts everybody. It hurts themselves as well. So we don't want that situation. That's why I want to make strikes a thing of the past. But it will require us to listen and to act, and which is what we are trying to do.
Yesterday, the president assented to your flagship policy, the 24-hour economy program. Now, this is a policy that intends to offer job opportunities, deal with the particularly youth unemployment situation in the country. It's been assented to. What should Ghanaians look out for? Your colleagues from the opposition side say that they haven't seen anything yet. What should we be expecting?
Well, they should expect to see the practical application of the 24-hour economy. It's not just the fact that you want to keep people working 24 hours. It is a whole stream of reset of the economy, a whole injection of strength, power, and reorganization of the economy. It's giving the economy a new breath, meaning that we are pumping into the private sector the kinds of incentives that can let them employ more people, create more value. If they are exporting, they export more, and be able to move this economy to the next level. So the 24-hour economy is a very important economic policy that is going to touch every sector of the economy and will have a total effect on the growth of the country's economy and the nation as a whole. So it was good the president signed the bill into law. It's now an act, and once it is an act, it requires us to stand up and work more. Young people are going to be employed in areas where we are going to have 24-hour economy in operation. About 442 companies have approached us and say they want the incentives that will enable them to work 24 hours. It requires that more people are going to be employed. And this is something very good to me. I'm impressed about it because I like the fact that it is getting the real targets. The real target is the private sector. Engineer them, give them confidence, courage, and give them the needed incentive to pick up and then to run with it. So it's a great opportunity for us to have the 24-hour economy signed by the president to become an act of parliament.
Is it not just as the one district, one factory, and would you agree with calls by the minority that the government could have continued with this one district, one factory policy, even if it's the name that you weren't happy with it, you could have just continued with that intervention just to ensure that job sustainability as well as also creation is also enhanced?
What's the legal frame of the one district, one factory? I mean, something has to be binding and compulsory and compelling for another government to pick it up and run with it. I don't know of any compelling factor about. What I know about it is that it has failed. I mean, if you go to every region and tell them to give you 2 factories that are in operation, working, you can't find them. In my region, I can't find them. The whole of Upper West region, you can't find work factory producing and exporting or supplying anywhere and all that. I think that it was more of a political pronouncement than a serious economic venture. And so no government will pick such a thing which is going to be a burden on you, rather than doing something that is much more practical, much more intrusive into the needs to create more value into the country. So I think that the 24-hour economy is a very positive trend, policy trend that will allow more people to work, that will encourage businesses to work more, and that is going to have a direct consequence on the growth of the economy. It is not something like the one district, one factory. This one is a policy that can be embraced by anybody, by the private sector, by the government sector, by anybody.
Not necessarily constructing factories.
Yes. And you know what it is about? We have now passed a law that will enable us to take money from the economy, from the budget, the financial statement that was presented, and then spend on companies that would need our incentive. We couldn't have done it without a law. So it's a great opportunity for us. In fact, the developed world have been working 24 hours for almost every time that we know about. It's because it's a policy. They provide the needed security, compelling needed security to enable people to work, compelling needed power to power organizations to work, compelling needed human resource to get people to work. You see, it's a very positive project or policy that can move the economy in a speedy manner.
Minister, since your government came into office, the minority asserts that about 15,000 workers, public sector workers, have lost their jobs following the directive by the Chief of Staff that post-December recruitment should be revoked. Does this not come as a concern to you as a government that intends to create job opportunities, losing 15,000 people?
Where did you get that 15,000?
It was asserted by the minority on the floor of Parliament.
But that's his view. It doesn't mean it's true. What
So what is the record?
There's no such record about 15,000 people losing their jobs. In fact, they employed about 12,000 people when they knew they lost the elections. We haven't even removed all the 12,000. At one point, the president indicated, "Stop it. All of us are Ghanaians. Just check to make sure those who truly were employed and truly passed through the system, keep them at the jobs." So at that point, when he made that pronouncement, nobody was removed anymore. I can't give you the right figure that was removed, but it's nothing near even. I don't think it's even up to 5,000 people. I don't think. I mean, it's just an overestimation to create an impression in the minds of people that we have sacked people. Yeah, there are so many people who were employed by the MPP at the late during the year of their loss, and yet they are working. Unfortunately, at the earlier pronouncements, some had to be taken away, but so many more are working today, and I don't think the minority leader's pronouncement is anything to go by. It's not true.
How do you suggest that such things should be dealt with, especially recruitment that are done last minute of any government?
It has to be taken very seriously that governments must learn to respect the rules. That when you lose, you don't have power anymore. Somebody called me today and was talking about the need for us to call another person back because he was employed like 3 months before the elections. And then I recalled an incident that took place whilst we're trying to reassess the people they took away from the various agencies. In the process, you have a lot of NDC people who also came. Some said they had worked for 6 years, 6 months. Some said 1 year, but when they came, they were all dropped. And so if we were to get them all back, the others back, we should call them also to come. So it complicated the issue. And there were evidences that they showed and letters they brought to prove that they were working 6 months into the time and they were sacked. So we looked at all that and said, okay, that makes the thing very complicated. Rather than just getting more people out, let's leave them in. Let me give you an example. Ghana Gas. By the time we left office in 2016, there were about 215. By the time we took over office, there were more than 2,000 people. It's the same story at National Health Insurance, the same story at school feeding, it's almost everywhere. Let me say that this is not to criticize any one of the people who were leading the system, because when they did all that, everybody else benefited, even though it might not have been the right thing. Yeah, so it's not a critique to them, but it's to say that we have to be cautious in overburdening state structures, state organizations and agencies, because it is an easy target to fix people. It might have and always have a negative effect on the whole of the economy. I had a conversation also with Goyle, for example. They were shocked when they went there to see the number of people who were in there working. Many people in many organizations don't even work at all because the numbers are so many, you can't find sitting places for all of them. So the removal was not necessarily because they were taken later, but also because many of them were not needed. In many places, they will go and open offices and people are sitting there every single time. I talked to somebody from another office and he said that in her departments only, that small department, there were 7 by 2016. By this time, 2025, when we took our office, that small office with 7 tables were 47 people. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we are doing to this. Does it mean that we can engineer a strong, powerful private sector to absorb all these people, the many young people who are coming out and looking for jobs? I believe very strongly that we can create value in the private sector, create enough situation where young people can even appreciate going to work there than working in the public sector. I said something which was misconstrued when I said at the beginning the last regime didn't show so much commitment in boosting the private sector that can avoid the situation where there's a lot of unemployment. So when an opening is you leave an opening or you open space in the public sector, you see people rushing there because they didn't take care of the private sector and the private sector couldn't absorb, so there's an overload. Then I was misunderstood to mean that that people are unemployed because of the private, because they are looking for jobs at the public sector. That was wrong. I didn't say that. And I also know that this young man, I've forgotten his name, he made a comment about it. And then, I should have remembered his name, sorry. Yeah, so when he made that comment, he said that he had done a study of youth unemployment and asked young people where they wanted to work. Many of them said they would like to work in the private sector. So let me just remember his name. You can pause your this thing. Yeah, this guy who had been arrested several times. Oliver. Yeah. So Oliver Vomowo. Well, he didn't listen to me, but he saw the quotation, the wrong impression people put on the system. I mean, in social media, that I said people are unemployed. Unemployment is because people are rushing for government sector. I never said that. I was just making the analysis I made to you, that because of the lack of engineering effort to create more opportunities for private sector to grow, lots of young people don't find space in there. So the backlog of unemployment has increased. And so when you give an opening anywhere, that there is an opening here, you find people rushing there. And it is a logical statement I made. But when you open up several spaces, you see them making the entries in the several spaces. And it will not just be only one-sided approach. That's what we are trying to do now. We want to create a situation where you have a strong, viable, progressive private sector, and you have an engineered, strong public sector also operating. How does the public sector operate in this? When you need more security, it means you have to employ more security forces, more security people. And if you want to have more shop attendants, you have to create more opportunities for people to attend so they can stay there. If you want to have factory workers, and you have to increase it because you want to work 24 hours, you have to get more people. So that is a way of boosting the private sector, giving them the needed incentives to work. Yeah.
Minister, 1 year, 2 months into office, Mahama administration, any idea of the number of jobs that have been created so far?
I have a brief idea, but I don't want to publicize it. What I want to do is to have a concrete figure which I can bring out. So I've written the letters to all the ministries and departments and asked them to bring me a report so I can compare it to what I have and be able to give a strong figure and say this figure is as a result of this I have done, and it can be disputed.
We'll be glad to have that.
Okay.
Your final words, Minister.
Well, my final words, let me say that this government is a committed government. John Dramani Mahama has shown that leadership can change a lot. He has proven that with this 1 year leadership that passed, Ghana can be a different country altogether. Within 1 year of his administration, we were number 10 richest country in Africa with a GDP that places at number 10. Today, after 1 year of administration, good governance, committed leadership, we shot up to number 8 with a GDP that is above 100 billion. And that's not because Ghanaians have changed, human beings have changed, but because there is good leadership and we are all working towards achieving an objective. We can do it in several ways. We can create a lot of avenues for our young people, and that's what we are working on now. I have a program that is going to come very soon with the Germans. I traveled to Germany and I eventually went to Dubai and met my German professor who has an idea of turning out huge numbers of young people, well-trained, well-equipped, into jobs. We are going to start it this year, and I hope that it will progress and reflect the expectations we want to see.
How is it going to be done?
It's going to be the appropriateness of kinds of training that we will require for people to enter jobs. In my rounds, as I went round to various business organizations, I don't know whether you picked information on that when I was doing the rounds, and I'll continue the rounds. I went into factories and and organizations where they needed labor, but not just the labor we have now, the skilled labor, the kind of upskilled labor that can work in those places. Now, this gentleman is coming. He has funding, and when he arrived here, I invited TVET. We had a meeting. I signed a memorandum of understanding for him to come and revolutionize the training that we have given our people.
The words of Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, the Honourable Dr. Abdulrashid Pelpu, MP for Wa Central, speaking to our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Ni Aikwe Okain. Well, that's by way of Eyewitness News tonight. I am Omar Rusanda Amadu. I did this with Fafa Melody Kotufe, produced by Beverly London, Juliana Odami Asari, Kobina Wilson, Fred Tetijabano, and Sami Wiafe. Technical support from Desmond Nyako. Edwin Kwakofi and the new media team supported us online. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Up next, I leave in the hands of Samuel Atamens. I'll bring you Footprint. Have a good night.